My Energy Ecliptic Love Circle Persona. Self love, best love, world love. You knows my honor. Greetings. I be your host, JaMes Peter Bastien. In peace, prosperity, power, it's my honor to share my affirmations, visualizations, and unisons manifestations and all satisfactions. The mind, body, and soul is to grow in all facets. Presented in procreation, this is MB9T Podcast show. May you be at peace in whatever the action is proclaiming. Ascending the greatest of all satisfaction, like your goals a bullseye, your actions the dart. Believe in you no matter the ending or the start. For your life, must you claim it. Peace, prosperity, power on this beautiful day. Welcome in to, again, MB9T Podcast show. Today, episode, Spectrum of Perspective. Perspective. Perspective from the inner view of someone can be the ideal view of what that person's truth from such perspective of perception. So when you look at the term spectrum, spectrum is looking at the totality, right? The whole formidable view of something, right? And perspective is the way that something can be seen, felt, or heard, right? So the reasoning of this episode today is that perspective for me I've realized, to be the truth in all actuality when it comes to the humanity race, right? Because so many people want to abide a truth. So many people want to abide a yes or no. But in all reality, the truth, the lies, the unknown are all spectrum of perspective. They're all perceptional views of what was said or what was told as to be, right? But the knowing of it it's not ideal. Nothing is ideal to say your view of something is the hands down view for everyone else or everything else, right? It's not the end all be all. And I wanted to express and utilize this episode for perspective because we're surely, I can't say, you know how people like to say in this day and age, I mean, here I am born in this flesh. So yeah, I can say in my soul view, I feel old. I feel like I've been here for years, but whatever. So all I can request amongst my knowledge of doing and being is this life that I'm living right now through with this body. Right, so I can't say, oh, back in the days or nowadays, this and that and the third, right? But I can surely admit from one, studying myself, studying my surrounding, people, places, and things, that perceptions certainly live out to be the truth for those people, places, and things, right? So, one, when you look at a truth or something like that, normally it's controlled by regions first, and then it spreads out from so on region to move on to the next region, right? So really, for most people, perception to be yes or no only goes off how many other people agrees upon such to be a yes or no. A perception can't be aided to be incorrect or right without others making that something to be agreeable upon. And that's why for me, I'm learning that the truth of life is the perceptions of life that we create. It's kind of like the saying of looking in one picture. You know, it's like all of us standing in Mona Lisa, right? The picture of Mona Lisa, but do we all feel the same? Are we all getting a joyous feeling from such picture canvassing? Are we all getting the sad feeling, right? Are we all expressively getting the same admiration or inspiration? So that's the view of what I'm learning. Perspective is that it is a beauty amongst what it means to the eye of whoever the beholder said to be. It's not something as clarifiable to say, no, that's the exact thing. In reality, what perception is the connectivity of like options and choices. What I mean by that, as perception occurs, so does assumption. Perception, assumption, right? So with your perception, you're only assuming from either your internal view of something or your external education from people, places, of things of what's said to be or what not to be. But yet we hoist so much power, we give so much attention. We're so delicate, we're so sensitive to our perception, which going forward with the term perception, we know inevitably perception change. As time does, as people do. As season goes, as season comes. Perceptional. It's the best, even within your own perception. If you clogged your mind, or if you invigorate yourself to say my way or the highway, it's really hard to learn anyone other perception. And to be direct as well, it's not as wrong as you may think it is to be somebody so intuitively perceptional. What I mean by that, it's wrong obviously because you're galvanized yourself from one point of view, but also you could respect that, or any human could respect that, because you are attuned to yourself, to your own internal belief system. It does hinder maybe your surrounding to that factor, right? Because you're maybe one track minded, closed minded, right? One sided on the way you view things, but it is your side. It is your perspective of what is and what's not in our journey of this lifetime. So with perception comes a reality, which is you living your truth to a certain degree. But the conversation that we're having about perception is that you're just really perceiving. You're guiding the people, placing the things of your internal views of things, right? Your perception. But realistically, it doesn't really hold weight to mean or to be defined to anything. So it's one of those like double conundrum when you look at perception, when you think about even the term believe, right? How much belief can you exert out, right? How many perception of outward views can you exert out for it to a point to be yours? And the answer is not too many. And it's the same viewership of your internal perception. How many can you view in, right? The answer is not too many. It doesn't take much to make an ass out of yourself by placing your assumption to be reality. But yet within your assumption comes your viewship of reality. So the beauty of this conversation is that I'm looking to aim your mind to understand that duality of polarity is what makes life so justifiable, right? It's like a pole that you string love from one side. Well, the opposition of the other end is going to have hate, right? And in between, you're going to have like and dislike. So within perception itself, right? Within the term manipulation, right? Assuming, right? They're both a pole of negative and positive. perceiving positively, perceiving negatively. You can do both, right? So the education of this episode is really to relive the idealization that for you to bestow upon your own intuitive knowledge and being, you have to have your own internal perception, but your internal perception cannot delay, it cannot place you in a placement to where you're unable to learn more with the inevitable of what is life between you constant being a constant change, between places being a constant change, and of course being other people being a constant change. Balance remains to be the key. Consistency remains to be the key, right? So with that, it's the same perspective of how some people may view food, like it has to be this way. It has to, you must eat that way, right? Like everybody intake is different. You know what I'm saying? And with perception, sometimes it hinders us to look at the whole viewpoint of like, oh, okay, this is good for me. It may not be good for anyone else. It may be good for maybe 10% other people, right? But I know it's good for me. And that's the saddening circumstance that we have in a society where people want to delegate perception into groups. People want to apprehend what's good and bad through perception. That's where then you have those that's growing and learning, right? Where their internal sponge in life is just soaking things up. They haven't yet decoded themselves from different trials and tribulation, right? So when you're doing that and you're abiding somebody whose sponge may not be too soaked in when it comes to experience, and you're giving them your perception as to be as not to be, then realistically, you just limited this person's own experience because you placed in their mind what is to be, but they themselves have not had that feeling, have not yet had that thought, and have lastly had not had the action. So what is truth in totality? Truth is something that you feel intuitively by your spirit guiding you. Truth is something that, and in the world that we share, is not just truthful to you and your intuition. And truth, lastly, is the third step, which is the action of you actually utilizing or gaining that experience. So is you feeling it intuitively to be right? Is your surrounding also experiencing such thing and conveying it to be as? And lastly, you actually having the experience of that thing. So for most of us, we use perception out of one or three of those circumstances. Or sometimes it may be none. It's just like, oh, I can assume, I can think. Of course you can make an ass out of yourself. But realistically, a lot of us are not able to even be honest with ourselves to say, oh yeah, that was just an assumption. That was just an assumption of mine. That was a perception. That was not really something adequately to be truthful. But the ego of us would then have us defending our own perception as to be reality, as to be truthful. Right? So the social conversation, whether we're arguing about music, the celebrities, so on and so forth, sports, so on and so forth, where men and women, we take so much of our energy and time and deploying it to the outer perception of what is important, right? So perception, again, we can speak upon the diversion of whereabouts and careabouts, right? For most people, hey, what you up to? What are you doing? Did you see this? Are you going to do that? Did you hear about this? You saw what happened to that person, this person. What's your care about? How are you feeling? What's on your mind? What are you looking to get accomplished? What's your goal for tomorrow? Right? So those care about questions get so boring to people because, again, their internal perception is not about themselves. It's about the world that they're living in, and that perception becoming so much more potent, more powerful amongst what that means to them, for them, excuse me. self-love is guiding you through your own perception, just as self-hate will guide you through your own perception. It doesn't matter if it's internal or external. It's going to convey to you, and you're going to be placing yourself in a viewership of life as, oh man, this is me, or this is not me. There's a lot of good things people don't take with them because it's like, oh no, it's too good to be true. I'm sorry, I say true. It's too good to be true, right? So again, with perception, you have even with how to manifest, right? It's a perceptional view, because you may have somebody that's so creative amongst their mind, amongst their vision of what they want to accomplish and do, right? But they're out of perception of like the internal views of, oh my God, I see me doing this, I see me being rich without me uncomprehended, right? But the first thing is like, based on your perception, knowing that you don't have these things yet, you're like, how I'm gonna get it done? Man, that's a lot. I don't even know how I get there. So right there, based on your own perceptions, you delay your own success because you perceived success amongst what's already here. You never perceived success amongst you manifesting stuff that's there to be there in the next moment. And what I mean by there, it may not be there in physics, but you've obtained it by your mind, your spirit, your intuition. You already have it with you. You can't wait to be a millionaire to smile about you having a million. You already have to be smiling because you on the route. You already have the body. You already have the vessel. You already have the capability to be a millionaire. Right? So perception is just like, how can I say it? It's like different covering over our eyes of what we said is possible or impossible. So assure to you, to your mind, body, and soul, that your perceivement of what this life is matches the reality based on your expectation of life. Not of others, not of your surrounding, right? A lot of us wouldn't care less amongst staying cognitive to our career field, our work field, staying and doing to whatever people want us to do for their happiness and their excitement, right? Even with the fitness aspect of things, right? Most people that don't or that's not into it, they look at it because it's like, oh man, this is hard work. But motherfucker, you'll get up any day to go get that motherfucking money because you need to pay your fucking bills and so on and so forth. You'll get up and eat whatever you want based on your craving, but wouldn't care less about the body effect that you're doing to yourself. So you learn what is hard or what's not hard is all perception based on somebody else's definition on their viewership of something. So realistically, why would your perception of greatness never match for you to do the things that needs to be done for you, but you're willing to match it for other people? Because again, this reality, this person is my boss, right? Oh, reality, this person is my significant other, my spouse. So perceptionally, I got to keep them happy, but not me. Does that make any fucking sense? It does not. It does not. So our perception have to be first guided amongst our care-abouts, right? Our perpetuities. And then we can align such to the people, placing their things. We're too stuck upon pleasing everybody. That's the worst business to be in. You should not be in the business of pleasing any fucking body but yourself. Because once you please yourself, it's easily going to please your surrounding. Again, there's a narcissistic view of some people that's just selfish in that manner. But regardless if that person is selfish in that manner, it is their views, it's their perception of what's needed to be done for who? Them, not you. So fuck off. fuck the fuck off. Like, let people live their life. That's the only, and that's the problem with our society. It's like we know everybody's different, but we surely can't fucking accept that. It's always an issue. It's always, why, like, if I'm a Christian, why the fuck do I need to worry about everybody else being like me if I know I'm doing my righteous calling? If I'm so and so forth, why do I need to do that? It's because based on perception, everybody wants their perception to be the reality for everybody else. It doesn't fucking work like that. You can't tell me what my heaven is, same as I can't tell you vice versa. I can't tell you what the devil is to you, same as I, vice versa. We could agree upon mutual aspect of morals and principle based on our human race of what is or shouldn't be, but reality, we can't. And we can't because you must understand that you're a living God as a man and you're a living God as a woman. You can take that title to yourself, but you can't appoint it to no one else. In the same way, you may feel that to yourself. You can't change somebody else's way of not feeling that way about themselves. Perception. Perception is something that you gotta sense, like, yeah, like, it just amazed me because, like, greatness itself is all perceptional. Others like must appoint you to this height. Like, devotion itself is actionable. That's on you. So, like I said, with that, and when you think about the perception of being great, so much people will be like, me, this, that, and the third, but you needed help. You know what I'm saying? Like, you needed somebody to actually assist you and aid you to that. I'm already at a place for me. I feel like it's all about taking your life to the level that you feel that it should be based upon what? Your perception. I may have said this word over 100 times this episode, but that was cool. Hey, I really love you, and that's really what this episode was about. Having your own viewership, but also having enough respect with our society that your viewership is not the end-all, be-all, but you must respect it intuitively as is, knowing that inevitably change comes and goes. I would like to go ahead and relinquish I guess somewhat of a poetry aspect, but it's really just more so me expressing my wording. Title: Peace, Prosperity, Power. Let's go ahead and break this down. Your accessibility amongst what's been done by who, where, how is not who, where, how issue. It is yours for being accepted. I refuse to be a victim, so my finger won't be pointed at others, wrong or right. Being accessible was my why, who, where, how affected me. Your life is a movie. Many roles being played by people, places, and things. The more you give in to these roles, the more control of your life you give out. You can be the writer, director, editor, etc. for your own film, or give these titles to others. Unity is power, so don't be demised of others having roles in your play. They're supposed to. After all, your movie started in other movies, sperm plus eggs. Our perpetuity is to look within to disguise the lies, provision as truth, and reveal the truth hidden beneath the lies. Life is all perceptional. Which deems polarity as truth and lies, lies and truths. Maktub, meaning it was written. Perhic, I am successful with heavy losses. And I am Kazan. I'm continuously on a road of improvement. Thank you so much for your time and cooperation of understanding and understanding, no overstanding. To my name, JaMes Peter Bastien. I love you before you know I do love you. So please trust you and place none above you. There's been another episode of the MB9T Podcast show. Be grateful as thankful for all the listeners out there. Please check us out on all platforms, whatever you're getting your podcast. If you into check us out on YouTube. Like I said, all streaming platform. We out there, baby. You know what I'm saying? Get at your boy. Check out my Instagram, MB9T Podcast Show. Check out our website, Mr. Bastien 9 Tablets. You hear me? And get some wisdom, get some knowledge, get some intuition. Not of mine, but of ours. You know what I'm saying? I feel like iron shall always sharpen iron. So hopefully whatever my spirit give me in moments of time to express, whether through literature, whether through words, whether through arts forms and poetic realms in that factor, please, I'm hoping that I send you the ability of that peace, prosperity, power that I just spoke upon, and give you more ways to understand your power of your own internal ability to affirm, visualize, and manifest the life that you want to get in and live. So I do know you have that power and the capability. And with that being said, 5, 4, 3, 2, I am the one. Going back to 1, 2, 3, 4. Cause I'm the 9. What the fuck? Y'all know what it is. 4 plus 5. Hello, I'm up out this here. I'm going crazy right now. All right, I'm going. All right, mwah. All right, man. I fucking love y'all. I fucking love you. Turn up, energy, 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 energy.